Hi, I am Nikki with Nikki's Tarot and Astrology, and I have been taking a little bit of a hiatus from YouTube for a couple of years now, and it is now time for me to get back into it, and I'm going to start trying to be on here pretty regularly, doing some lessons and teaching a little bit and getting back to doing tarot reads and explaining what's going on with the planets. And today I want to start with the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction that is coming up on this Saturday, April 20th in Taurus. Now, I know we're hearing a lot from other astrologers how this is super lucky, and generally Jupiter and Uranus together would be considered lucky under the right circumstances. However, these ones are not the right circumstances, mainly because Uranus is what's called in its fall in Taurus. That's because it is opposite its exalted placement of Scorpio, and Uranus wants to shake things up and make things different and try new things and think outside the box, whereas Taurus really wants to stay inside the box where it's nice and comfy and warm and nothing ever changes. Taurus is all about comfort and staying in your comfort zone, and Uranus wants to take you out of your comfort zone. Think back to 2010. It would be the summer of 2010, I think June or July, somewhere around that time, we had a Jupiter-Uranus conjunction at 0 degrees Aries. For me personally, that was not a good day. It was a huge argument. However, this is very important as to how it's going to work out for you. I have a very harshly aspected Jupiter. So take a look at your natal chart. Go on astro.com, put in your birth information, and see where your Jupiter is in your chart and how it's being aspected. If it is debilitated or it's receiving aspects that are a conjunction from a malefic planet, or a square that creates conflict, or any kind of opposition that puts you in positions where you have to make decisions between two things, this may not be the luckiest time in the world for you. Same thing goes with Uranus. How is your Uranus placed in your chart? What are the conditions of it as well? That's really going to have a lot to do with how this plays out for you. You may see some people have a really lucky time with it and some people don't, but it's all dependent on your chart. Now, if you want to go back a little further and you're old enough to remember, this also happened in February of 1997 as well. That one, quite honestly, didn't hit me, but it also was not directly aspecting my chart as the one in 2010 was. So again, it's all dependent on where it's landing in your chart and how your natal planets are aspected, and if they work well as well. Now, with all that being said, let's talk about the actual planets themselves and how they tend to act in Taurus. As I said, Uranus is sudden unexpected events. It is aha moments. It's things sometimes become very clear under a Uranus influence. And Jupiter simply expands things. And I know we talk a lot about how it is the planet of luck, but generally it plays out as the planet of luck because it's making good things bigger. It can sometimes play out as almost like a guardian angel type of thing, depending on where it's placed in your chart. So it can bring a lot of luck. However, in Taurus, I know a lot of us have gotten kind of exhausted over the last year that Jupiter has been in Taurus, because it has just simply expanded that sense of comfort. So meeting up with Uranus in the sign of comfort, you're likely to see something happen that is going to throw you completely out of your comfort zone if it's directly aspecting your chart. It'll show up in whatever house that is in your chart. And you can Google that go on Google and see what each house means. But whatever this is, there's a very good chance that it is just going to throw you completely out of your comfort zone. So just keep that in mind and be prepared that while there is probably some type of opportunity in what happens, it is going to be uncomfortable for the most part. Now, with all that being said, there's actually a much more going on with this conjunction than just the conjunction by itself. Venus, which is the ruling planet of Taurus, will actually be hitting the eclipse point on the same day. Now, when a planet, a personal planet especially, comes along and hits that point of the eclipse, especially so close after the eclipse, like we're not even 2 weeks out from the eclipse, it tends to trigger something. And eclipses are very fated types of events, okay? So whatever is happening with this conjunction, it's speaking to Venus at that eclipse point in Aries. Aries is very feisty. It can get angry. Venus in Aries can be incredibly impulsive because it's in its detriment there. It's kind of wants to do things for itself, whereas Venus itself wants to do things for others. So it's really confused there. It can become very selfish, particularly when it comes to money or relationships. Now, the sign of Taurus is much more related to money and stability. However, it can relate to relationships as well, because relationships are a space of wanting to have stability as well. And then to top all of that off, Venus being in Aries means that it's having a conversation with Mars in Pisces. Pisces is Venus's exaltation. There is a very good chance here that there is like some sudden aha moment, or something happens that reveals somebody's shady behavior, manipulative behavior. It can also bring out somebody's anger that maybe you've never seen before. And something in this is likely leading you to move forward on your own for what you need for yourself. So really kind of keep an eye out for what kind of things are really becoming clear for you. Uranus can very much trigger intuition, and many times it's not even intuitive, like it just comes right out and smacks you in the face with something. So keep that in mind. If you see something come out about somebody, or if somebody tells you something, believe it. It's true. Don't second guess your intuition, and don't think that people are just being jealous or something like that, because chances are pretty good what you're hearing is the truth. Okay, with all that being said, I want to pull a couple of cards for the collective to see if we can get a general idea of the energy, overall energy. Now, keep in mind that this is a collective reading. It is not personal. If you would like a personal reading, or you want to see how this is going to affect you in your natal chart, please check out my link and book a reading. I will also be putting together classes here pretty soon to start teaching in live classes online and eventually in person as well. So our first card for this is the Death and Rebirth. This is all about transformation. That's this big changes, something coming to an end in order for something new to begin. Let's see if we can get a couple more cards here. We got the High Priestess telling us to listen to our intuition, make sure that we're not talking ourselves out of believing things that we need to know for a fact, okay? Listen to your intuition. Something else that's interesting here is that both of these are major arcana cards, which is usually a pretty good indication of a huge shift happening. It can even be something very fated failing, and as I said, Venus hitting the eclipse point is a very fated feeling. Now this is, we have Knight of Cups here, so definitely watch out for people coming in, playing Captain Save-A-Ho and wanting to, act like that nothing ever happened or things like that. These are definitely, the Knight of Cups likes to come running in on his white horse, like everything is great and wonderful, and they disappear just as quickly. Okay, they can come in very love bomby. So make sure that you're paying attention to that and listen to your intuition. We also have Ten of Swords on the bottom. So again, we're looking at endings, walking away to a new beginning as well. I hope that helps. And let me know if you guys want to see more of this. And have a great weekend.